Hi, welcome to JOU127. I'm Jack Downs. You're getting this video because you have missed the first class. You were unable to attend the first class. On the one hand, yes, we're just getting started, so you have time to get back into gear. On the other hand, this is definitely not an online class, or doable as an online class. In fact, some of the handouts I'm not going to be able to send you in this email. You're going to need to get the hard copies from me later, which will slow you down a little bit. So I would say it's very important that you come to the next class or as soon as you're able to and talk to me about it, and then and you'll have to do some extra work to get back on track. Because although this is an intro level class, it is a big public speaking class. I mean, there's a lot of stuff because we can incorporate speaking and writing. But in any case, let me go over some of the material that I will have gone over in the first class. So at least you get a start here. And I'm not going to normally in class start with showing the Brightspace page. This is the Brightspace page. But you may very well be going to it yourself to be reminded of what's due. Occasionally to submit assignments. There will be places to submit assignments, but it's about remind you about what's due, what's coming up, and look at the schedule and stuff. So let's go ahead and first click on the daily schedule and syllabus, as you probably will too. And I will probably for the first class show this. The daily schedule is a schedule of what we're doing and when we're doing it. And this is the place to find out what's due, what's going to be due, and so on. And of course, what's due today is nothing because you're just starting. But what's due next class, I'm asking you to already be reading chapters 1 and 2. Do I expect you to read them both before next class? No. But I do expect you to begin reading those chapters. That means you need the textbook. Okay. Well, we'll show you the textbook. Where is it? Anyway. There's a syllabus summary, and you've received email from me already about the textbook. This is the textbook, Public Speaking. The Art of Public Speaking by Stephen Lucas. I'm using the 13th edition. Relatively recent. So there should be one in the library. They should be able to get it used. You should be able to get it at the bookstore. I warned you about this ahead of time. So get the textbook. I think it works best if you get the actual on-paper textbook. Okay, good. So because there's reading due right away, the way the reading is going to work is I'll assign the reading, and also then you will have a study guide. Now the study guide, I can show you a copy of it here. I'm not going to give it to you as a computer file because I want you to do it by hand. It has to be handwritten, the answers to this. So this is a study guide for chapters 1 through 7. So the most efficient thing, of course, would be for you to have this study guide and do the reading and write the answers in as you go. Occasionally I hear questions and problems from people about, it didn't exactly match up or something. You do your best. Will you be graded on the study guide? Yes. The study guide will probably be part of your exam grade. There's 3 study guides, study guide 1, 2, and 3. There's 3 exams, exam 1, 2, and 3. Coincidental, huh? So ideally, you like to get the study guide done and then be able to study it for the exam and other notes and handouts and stuff you get. So there's no midterm exam and there's no final exam. There's an exam 1, 2, and 3. And the final exam period will have something else, but that's so far from now, let's not worry about it. And nothing that you have to prepare for anyway. Okay, so I'll read chapters 1 and 2. I think I have chapters 1 and 2 available here for you to actually read online too. We'll take a look at that in a minute. And it says start working in study guide 1. Of course, that's for chapters, reading the chapters. And it says go to Ward 114 and prepare a collage. What the heck is that? Well, so this is the daily schedule. But let's go back and look at some other stuff. We'll get to that collage. We'll get to that what's due and so on. Okay, so I have the full syllabus. The full complete syllabus is here. You are going to be held responsible for all of it. You should review it. I'm going to only hand out and show you the summary of the syllabus. The greatest hits of the syllabus. Here it is. My contact information, my office hours, which probably aren't even right anymore because I got my schedule changed around on me, but you'll find them on my office door. But I'm generally available before and after class too. I'm available lots. So if you want to meet with me, email me. Otherwise, just stop by. My office hours now, I believe, are more like 9:30 to 11 on Monday and Wednesday, or something like that. 9 to 10:30 on those days. So it's a little bit earlier start on Monday and Wednesday. It's not Tuesday, Thursday either. Yeah, it's Monday and Wednesday now. Okay. Hey, we have 4 TAs in this class. It's going to be really important for you to meet them, talk with them. You're going to be working with them more than in some classes, because the TAs are going to be your speech coaches, because we have to do speeches. This is a speech class. It's a presentation class. It's a public speaking class. So you're going to have to do speeches, and all different ones. Many of them not very big impact or whatever, but still, for some of you that's going to be tough, and some it's going to be a breeze, but who knows. But anyway, you have to practice them before you do them. It's required, and you're going to practice them with the TAs. Anyway, so here's the names of the TAs: Kylie, Maureen, and Sydney. And their email addresses. I will probably ask them in class to give you their phone numbers. So if you've missed that class, you need to talk to them to get that information. And the scheduled, I believe actually that the speech practice is going to be in our classroom on scheduled times that you will receive, but nothing for the first week anyway. The second week there's going to be speech practice in the speech, but we'll talk more about that in your second class. All right, so that's them, and they've been through this class before. Some of them have been TAs before, so it should be very helpful. And you should listen to what they say and ask them for help. What you need right now, you need the I told you need the textbook. There it is right there. You could use the 11th or 12th edition, but the 13th is the best. I think there's some newer edition which I'm not using at this point. You need a binder or folder to keep all the handouts, of which there will be so many, lots of handouts, and a notebook for taking notes. Yeah, you're not going to take that many notes, I don't think. Maybe you take notes on handouts, but as you wish. Grades. We're going to have like 5 presentations, major presentations. That's 60% of your grade, more than half of your grade right there. Boom. That's the most important thing. They're not all weighted equally, though, necessarily. Then there's exams, those 3 exams I told you about, and there's the study guides. There's an essay you have to write. There's an advisor interview transcript you're going to have to do. There's an SPS exercise and probably other like homeworky kind of things. That's 30%. And then attendance is 10% of your grade. You'll see this is different. Some of you are probably in 206 with me, a different class, for those of you who aren't. You'll see that I'm handling attendance a little differently here. I'm going back and forth about it. Attendance is important to me, though. I prefer not to be punitive with it, but it's how it goes. How else can I do? So you got to come to class, and you will lose points if you don't, in other words. All right, so assign presentations. Oh, that's the other thing. You may think, well, geez, I'll do some of the presentations, but I don't have to do them all, right? Yes, you do. You have to present every presentation to pass this class. You have to do them in class with people watching. There's no way out. I'm not saying that to scare you. I'm just saying, and because we will build to it. And the first ones are going to be very small and simple. So, and we're doing our best to create a very encouraging and supportive environment in the classroom. For you. And this is your chance to practice if it's hard, and for many people it is. I know about it. Let me tell you about that. Okay? So, am I teaching this class because I am some expert public speaker? No, I am not. I'm teaching this class because I teach journalism, and there's a number of journalism elements in this. We try to take the way we break down and organize information for speeches, for presentations, is also the way we break down and organize information for writing. And we try to combine those ideas here. So that's important for us, that journalists and public relations students be able to speak. I think it's important for any major, anybody, some of you who are not. And also important that you be able to write. And those things actually go together. And that's what we're trying to prepare you for here. Anyway, so I'm an expert in that? No, I'm not an expert in public speaking at all. In fact, when I was in my 20s in particular, which is not too much older than you, or maybe the same age as some of you. Kind of like in my first job, I had a major problem with public speaking. I mean, we're talking about speaking in front of even just small groups, like in the workplace. Whereas at times I became almost phobic about it. It became a very difficult thing for me to deal with. I also had a number of physical symptoms: lightheadedness, sweating, fainting, nausea. It was not good at all, and it crept up on me. And it does that to you. It can do that to you. And some of you may already be experiencing some of these things, even just thinking about it. Or you have experienced these things. I tell you what, yes, you could just say, I'm never going to do it. But it only gets worse. So it took me a long time working on small doses, and doing my best and realizing, yeah, I felt like I was going to have a heart attack. But I'm not really going to have a heart attack. The panic attacks that I was having, with repetition, I was able to get through them and actually get better at it and more confident, and realize and try to take that tension and anxiety and turn it into a positive as much as I could. It's just easier said than done. But anyway, I've been through some very difficult times with public speaking, even in small groups. This is from a person who was thrown into some major, well, for me, major public speaking situations in like high school, which I think probably it was like trauma from that that pushed me in that direction. But anyway, I say this because I'm extremely sympathetic to having problems, but I know that it's worth trying to fix. Even if in this class you can't completely fix it, you won't be able to completely fix it. It takes a lot of time, but it's worth fixing, because so many times in your life you will need to stand up in front of even a small group of people, or just sit there in a meeting room in front of them and say some important things. So, okay, that's a tangent. But anyway. Oh, what else? Attendance policy. Yes, you have to come. If you come like every class, you'll get a bonus. Otherwise, if you miss more than unexcused 5 absences, I'm going to fail you. You can't continue the class. There are exceptions: a religious holiday, prearranged absence. I don't want you coming if you're truly sick, but you better have a sick note. If you're just a little sick, please come. Hey, you want to come and wear a mask? That's okay too. Cheating, any kind of plagiarism will be severely punished. That means using someone else's work as your own, which could happen. AI, we do not use AI to create our presentations or other homework assignments. The schedule, you're going to use that daily schedule I showed you to look at what's happening. Don't use the schedule that's in the full syllabus. That's just an advisory thing. I mentioned Journalism Lounge here, but if you want to join it, you'll see a link. What else? Never read your entire speech off cards. No manuscripts allowed. Yeah. So this is just some class guideline rules, and some of them may not make that much sense at the beginning. We are doing extemporaneous speaking, which means you have notes, as in bullet points and a little bit of guidance on index cards probably, or something else, or it's up here. But it's not memorized, and you don't read it either. You are familiar enough with the content that you can speak on it. You may look at an outline of some kind, bullet points, to keep yourself on track, but you don't. You are not either reading it, or you're not doing you're not memorized for sure. And it's extremely important that you commit to this idea. You dress appropriately for a general audience. Yeah, I'm not real. Strict about this. You don't have to wear a suit or business casual for your presentations, but I do think you should think about how you appear, and I do think you should not wear a hat, or be chewing gum, or wear a coat during your presentation, or perhaps like other distracting kinds of clothing or jewelry or so on. Avoid cursing, profanity, obscenities during presentation. We want to use inclusive, non-discriminatory language in the classroom at all times. Yes, guess what? I don't want you to bring weapons to class. It says so right here. Or drugs, or food, actually. Don't bring your lunch. Or alcohol. If you need to bring a drink, it must be covered. You must come to class prepared on speaking days. In other words, you can't be working on your presentation while someone else is speaking. You have to have it completed it. Or you have to have practiced it too. You have to turn off your cell phones and keep them and put them away. You may not wear headphones during class. Cell phones and smartwatches should not be visible during class time. Students who are late on their speaking day, this is really important. This has been a problem the last semester. You don't come into the class when somebody else is speaking, doing their presentation. You wait until they're done and then you come in. But even that is I'm gonna dock your grade for that. You don't come late on presentation days. Never walk in on a speaker. You don't record presentations in the classroom. And you become an attentive audience member and supportive on presentation days. Don't sleep in class. Hey, it's bad enough you sleep when I'm speaking, but please don't sleep or be an inattentive audience member when one of your classmates is speaking. So that's my summary syllabus here. What else do we got here? I'm being a little bit disorganized probably, but hey, I'm doing my best for the first class. We have handouts and presentations here. What are in here, for instance? Speech coaching sessions, which are not set up yet. Collage rubric, I'll be handing it out next class. I'll better talk about the collage though, right? Yeah. Communication, apprehension, rhetoric, that's next class. So these are so the handouts I'm going to be giving you for assignments or for one thing or another are mostly all here. Maybe some of the dates aren't quite right on them right yet, but they're mostly all here. What else? Assignment uploads, there's a link here for assignment uploads. So not immediately, but at some point there's going to be things you have to submit here. Shared resources on Google Drive. Okay, good. So this is a link to a Google Drive. Why is there a Google Drive linked here? Well, because there are some things that I can't really give you in in Brightspace. So I put them here instead. Because they don't work well in Brightspace. So what do we have here? Exam prep stuff, there's going to be handouts for that. Other handouts which didn't work well. Readings and study guides. Okay. So I do have the study guides here in the textbooks chapters 1 and 2. Here's the textbooks chapter 1 and 2, so you can read it here if you have any delay in getting the textbook. Okay, good. So read the textbook here. I have the study guides here, but you may not. If you use one of these, you have to print it and hand write the answers. Okay. The study guides are here. I will hand you a hard copy of it. But if you want to get started at it because you're going to miss the first couple of classes for some reason, which, whatever, you got to print the study guide yourself and then hand write the answers. Okay? Chapter 19, some textbooks don't have it, but don't worry about that now. Okay? So there are going to be some things that I put here. Handouts. My handouts are here. Word distinctions. Okay. This is a giant handout, which I'm going to be giving you. It's going to be, chunks of it are going to be on the first, second, and third exams. And it's a giant handout. And I'm not going to review it in class. I'm going to be telling you, hey, do letters A through whatever. So this is really word distinctions. And it's extremely important, useful information. I did not prepare this handout. It was prepared by an expert in this topic, Ron and the Montanaro Davises. So I thank them for this. They are the originators of this class, retired instructors. And I think you should go through this handout, but I'm going to be giving you a hard copy of it. It's here just in case you need that copy here. Okay. That won't go back. Here it is. Okay, good. Okay, shared resources. That's the Google Drive I told you about. So you should look through that. Otherwise, there's not. I mean, it's pretty compact, and it isn't like day by day, week by week kind of Brightspace page. It's just topic oriented like that. Pretty compact. Okay. What else do I want to tell you? Okay. Yes. Although I said, oh, you got to complete every presentation. it's not that I'm an easy grader, but just practicing and just doing your presentation, I think, is worth a lot. So if I can see you put in the work, and even if you had some trouble, hey, none of us are perfect. This little presentation I'm doing is not perfect. That's okay. This isn't about perfection, right? And I've got strategies, and we'll give you strategies to help you improve. The biggest strategy is to practice, though. That helps you with anxiety and helps you do better. So maybe more practice. Practice means practice in front of a mirror, practice with a roommate, practice by yourself, and you must practice with the TAs. So there's that. So you just get up and you can see the work, and it doesn't go perfectly. It's never going to go perfectly. And you do your best. You're probably going to get a B on your presentation or something like that. And that's good. So I think don't labor over perfection or get upset by the idea that you have to do all the presentations, because you just do your best, show you did the work, get up, give it a try. And by the way, we will progress in the difficulty of these things. So the first are going to be pretty easy. Let's speak about the first presentation, I guess. Okay. Oh, where's my stuff? Hold on just a minute. I gotta pause this. I'll be right back. Okay, your first presentation is going to be on on you. It's going to be called the collage presentation, and I will, for the second class, give you in fact, it's available still here already, the rubric, which is essentially what you'll be graded on for it. So I'm introducing the idea that you're going to be introducing yourself, but not in the traditional way like, hi, I'm so-and-so. No. You're going to do a presentation. That means you have to get our attention. That means you have to tell us what you're going to tell us. Then you have to actually tell us those things, and then you're going to review it in a conclusion and then end. You're going to do it without cliche, without saying, hi, my name is so-and-so, whatever. You will be introduced in a way before you begin. I will call your name, and you will come up with your collage that you have made. Now, collage sounds very grand. It is something on a normal 8.5-11 sheet of paper. It is not paginated. It's not necessarily made with Canva. It's just some stuff you've written and or clipped pieces of from magazines or from something else. Now, those of you who don't attend the first class won't be able to go with me to Ward 114, where you'll see a huge number of magazines you can clip pieces from. It doesn't have to be clip stuff from magazines. It could be something you print out and clip and put on the piece of paper, but it might not be. It's going to be a little hard to see. This is mine that I'm going to be doing in class. Okay, it's just some pictures from magazines, something I've drawn and written on there, some stuff which actually I actually printed, but you did not have to. It's on a regular size sheet of paper. We're not doing a poster. It could be mostly handwritten. What it is it's a guide to my presentation. It's my notes, essentially. It's also something for me to hold while I'm doing the presentation, which I will do next class. I think I probably in class will probably show you some other samples of a collage. But I said this is mine. Now, what is going to be on your collage? It's something about you. You could take like the one important hobby, and just do the collage on that. Okay, you would get our attention by saying something about it, something interesting. You would tell us what you're going to tell us. And then you would actually go through it in detail and explain to us the parts of that hobby, how you learned it, where it started, what you're doing, what you're going to do next. I don't know what. It could just be about the music you like. Okay, good. You got some pictures of recording artists, or you could draw something on it, or whatever. You're going to imagine there's multiple parts though to the thing. It's not just one thing. It's going to be a part 1, a part 2, part 3. I mean, mine is going to be the people, places, and activities that made me who I am. That's very broad. Many of you may do a broad one like that. It's the things that are important to you that make you who you are. That's great. It doesn't have to be that way, though. It could just be take one thing, like a sport, and that could be about you and that sport. Whatever it is, it's you and that thing. You and these important life events, you and this one activity, you over time. It's about you. So we're getting important information about you without the traditional, hi, my name is so-and-so, because you've already been introduced and when you've been called up to the stage, the front of the class. And you are actually referring to and pointing to and being reminded of what it is you want to say by this stuff that you have on here. Okay? And you will practice this. So you're going to make a collage. Those people in class will have the option of making the collage in 114, which is a room you have access to. And you, having seen this, maybe you can go over there and do that yourself too. There's paper, there's scissors, there's magazines, there's markers in a bin, which is labeled for this class, which is up on a shelf. Or you can just go get yourself a sheet of paper. Does that have to be colored paper? No, it does not. Get a sheet of paper and then just start to collage some stuff together there. Some of it could be drawn, handwritten. It isn't words that you're reading, though, right? It's essentially bullet points. This is done visually, is the idea. That's what it is. And you'll see on the back of it, I have not written anything. There's no notes there for me. No notes. I'm not writing anything I'm going to read off. No. I'm going to speak these things, which I know about because it's about me, from my outline, which is the collage. So that is the first assignment, and you could begin putting the collage together. You are going to have to be practicing and presenting this next week, your collage presentation. Okay, what else do I want to tell you? Collage, study guide, syllabus, bright space, and data sheets. That's right. Okay, good. One more thing. I'm going to send you an email copy of the data sheet if you haven't missed this class, which you should fill out and give back to me. I'm going to ask everybody to fill it out in class and give it to me. The data sheet is important information. It tells me how you feel about public speaking, if you had problems with public speaking before, what they might be, and it gives me some other information about you too. It also acknowledges that you must practice your presentations before you present. So you have to have a schedule that allows you to do that. And therefore, you have to acknowledge that is the case. Okay. Hey, that's about it. Kind of a bit of disorganized stuff here today, but I hope to see you in our second class or in class very soon.